Paul Mooney said it best. I'm going to tell you why white folks are mad. White folks are mad because got away. Got away. Got away. It's because they don't have slaves anymore. He goes, when we was free, we didn't have no jobs. When we were slaves, we had 12 jobs. He said, imagine if slavery was to come back, they'd be like, oh, welcome home.
Welcome back.
We haven't seen you in a long time. Your room is exactly the way we left it. Paul Mooney he was right. That's the reason, because all the wars in America were fought because of slavery.
Right. Yeah.
They wanted to keep what was the economy was slavery. Yeah. The first thing on Wall Street was slaves.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole thing. It's always about us.
Yeah.
Anytime they talk sideways, it's always us in the peripheral. When they go DEI, it means black people.
To them. But the thing is, the thing that's so crazy is that functionally, affirmative action and DEI mainly benefited white
women.
So we didn't even benefit disproportionately. We actually didn't. And now but we are being hurt disproportionately, because when they say we're getting rid of DEI, it's interpreted by these C-suites as fire all the black people.
Yeah, and then I don't know if the lower courts or somebody, but I know the Fourth Circuit ruling reshaped the organization and approach of DEI, right? I think going up against what Donald Trump was trying to do with DEI, was there a change and movement in that?
I mean, to me, it almost doesn't matter what the courts say, because the way that companies are interpreting it, the way Hollywood is interpreting it, you're hearing all these stories out of Hollywood. Just don't greenlight black stories.
Right.
Just don't hire black actors.
Period.
My sister's an actress. June Carroll, by the way, hire her if you're making a movie. Yep. She's amazing. But I mean, it's like they're hiring fewer of us. Yep. They're giving fewer of our scripts green lights. Yep. They're giving fewer of our making fewer of our stories.
Everything they wanted to do.
Because they interpret
it black.
And it's not even that Trump, signed a law saying you can't hire black people, but this is the way people are complying.
Well, that's just, it's always been in them. They're like, just give us the go. Just give us the go. No blacks! Ha ha! But they're not going to touch the NFL and the NBA.
Oh, no.
Because I was hoping, I think you should fire all of them too, and we form our own league.
Right.
They were like, well, don't touch the NFL.
No, wait, hold on now. Don't get too
We don't want the score to be 1-3.
Right.
We got still need dunks and stuff.
Crazy.
Jesus, who's going to catch? We don't want to. Yeah, you notice sports was untouched. Untouched.
Yeah, I know.
Because I said, why don't we? How come it's still black? Why is the NFL still 70? You know what I'm saying? Because whenever they're benefiting monetarily, sexually, or whatever, that's when it's good. But if we have autonomous happiness, then it's like, oh.
You gotta end that.
You ever see it at a restaurant when black people are by themselves happy? They go, they're making a lot of noise. They go, you are too.
Right.
You are too. It's like,
and you're complaining.
Right.
And you're complaining.
Right. But it's like when they see us, they say, get out of here. Okay, we'll get out of here. Get out of our town. Okay, we'll go build our own. Let's go burn that. What are they doing?
Yeah, we gotta burn it. Right.
Because we're running rent free in their heads every day. We run rent free.
Yeah.
This is all facts.
What do you think the long-term impact is going to be with affirmative action and the removal of affirmative action?
I mean, so I'll give you Harvard, for instance.
Okay.
The class the last affirmative action class at Harvard before the ruling went through had about 14% black. And when I went, it was 6% black. So it improved to get close to parity in our population. But it was 27% Asian. Asian people are 5% of the country, but they were 27% of that incoming class. After affirmative action, those numbers are roughly the same.
Same, right.
The numbers of white men have gone down.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't worked out. And so now you're seeing the Stephen Millers of the world look at these elite universities and not see the number of white men increasing. And now they want those universities investigated. But what they're leaving out of the story is that for a generation, people like Stephen Miller, people like the late Charlie Kirk have been telling white men, don't go to college. They've been telling him it's a waste of money. It's an indoctrination factory to turn you into a liberal, to make you woke. And so white men are self-selecting out of college. And so now when you open up the opportunity to go to Harvard, the people who are prepared to go to Harvard, who are busting their ass in high school trying to get good grades, are immigrant kids who they're chasing away. The international student body is plummeting. And that's what keeps these schools open, because the international students, like our parents, the government paid their bill. Yeah. They weren't paying for it. My father got his education because the government of the Congo paid for it, then Zaire. Yeah. And so when you take the kids coming from China, that full payment from the Chinese government is gone. And the American kids who need student loans, who in many cases aren't even prepared for college, you're now whittling it down and you're expecting white men to carry the burden. I mean, if you think, if I was a white guy, I'd be kind of offended. You want me to be all the pilots. You want me to be all the people in the Defense Department. You want me to do all the jobs. I got to be every job. I got to go to all the Harvards. I got to do all these things. And I've been told for a generation, don't even go to college at all. So a lot of these guys are not even prepared. So they're not even qualified.
But there's a lot that qualified. A lot of them are mediocre anyway.
So they weren't prepared. And so
They're
it's
not
like
prepared.
they expected that this would mean that Harvard would now be like 80% white men. It isn't. The majority of college students in America are women. More white women go to college than white men. And so now when they're looking at it, they're not getting the white man bonanza they expected. And the Stephen Millers of the world are mad about it.
And he needs to go that little.
The Hague. That's one place he should be. The Hague.
He thinks he's so dope. And I think there's a lot of, did you notice the first person to get a PhD is W.B. Du Bois, right?
Du Bois, yeah.
But
At Harvard.
If you notice when you were in Harvard, there was just legacy people where they were like dumb people.
Absolutely.
It's like, you dumb as hell. And they
Some
was
of
just
the
in there.
dumbest people I met in the world were people at Harvard who were legacies. The smartest people I met, Ketanji Brown Jackson, I went to college with her. She was a year behind me. Smartest person I ever met. Her roommates, geniuses. Genius. All four of them. Because they had to work 10 times as hard
doubt.
Just to get in.
just to get in. Whereas the legacy kids, they didn't go to class. They were high. They were smoking weed because they didn't have to even get good grades. It didn't matter. They grade on a curve at Harvard, so they weren't going to fail. You know, I got E's when I'm talking about failing. I got an E. They didn't give you an F because they made it on a curve, and they try to keep you in. They put you on academic probation, et cetera. These guys go from academic probation to a ritzy job on Wall Street, even if they passed no classes. These people didn't work. They didn't try. They didn't have to do anything but play lacrosse on the weekends and chill and get high. We're producing a group of people who are coming out of Harvard who are no more educated than had they not gone at all, because they didn't have to even read a book while they were there, because they're legacies.
It's all smoke
and they
and
don't
mirrors.
deserve to be there.
At
The grades
all.
were in high school.
At all.
And yet they had the name. I mean, I went to college with a woman whose name was on one of the buildings. Of course she got in. Her name is on a building.
Oh, right. Because her family, she's a legacy.
Her family's a legacy. So it's like that person, is that person smarter than Ketanji? No. But that person gets to get it and no one questions their presence.
None.
No one says, is that okay? But they say that this affirmative action genius kid from Ohio somewhere that busted their ass in high school doesn't belong there simply because they're black. That's America.
154, we all connected, baby, you already know. I'm talking 154, we bringing Africa around the whole globe. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home.